Good evening, Tewksbury. It is 6:01, and we're going to call the meeting to order and start with the Pledge of Allegiance.
To the flag of the United States of America, and to the republic for which it stands, one nation, under God, indivisible, with liberty and justice for all.
All right. Thank you. So, first on the agenda will be approval of minutes from September 19th, 2024. Are there any corrections or questions? I
I
hear,
didn't have any questions.
Looks good to me.
I hear none. So,
I make the motion that we accept the minutes as
awesome.
Second?
All right, I have a motion and a second. All in favor?
Aye.
for
Aye.
Okay. Anyone opposed? I hear none. Chair votes aye as well. So minutes have been approved as written. Okay, so next on the agenda is the continued public hearing, which is the tobacco sales to minor. The violations occurred during an annual compliance check. This is from the last meeting that we had and was rolled over to this meeting. And I do not see anyone present for the hearing. So, would we like to make a motion to
Yeah.
move this?
I'd like to make a motion to extend this to the next meeting. Where, so that, obviously, they haven't shown up. Shannon, can you just for the record say that you guys notified them?
Yep, we sent them a copy of the agenda and reminded them about the meeting, say last week.
Okay. So they've been notified. We'll send another notification, maybe two at the discretion of the health director. And if they don't show next meeting, we will explore disciplinary actions in the interim. That's a full motion.
Do I hear a second?
I second.
All right.
Okay, so there's a motion and a second. All in favor to move this to next time, and if there is no one here for the next hearing, we can then discuss the non-attendance and notification of compliance. All in favor, say aye.
Aye.
Aye. Any opposed? I hear none. I agree as well, so that motion has been set forward. Okay, so that will put us to the new business. So we have 2025 meeting calendar dates. So we have the next meetings for, looks like these are 2024.
Yeah, I was gonna say.
I'm guessing these are 2025, but they are put 2024. Okay. So we have the next Board of Health meetings for 2025. They'll continue being on a monthly basis on the third Thursday of every month. And then we get to approve these dates.
The chair. So just a question, does it look for everybody's schedule that the third Thursday of the month is good for everybody? Because
That works for me.
Yeah, it works for me.
okay, thank you.
Yeah. Okay. So do I have a motion to approve these dates?
I second that motion.
Okay. All in favor, say aye.
Aye.
Any opposed? I hear none. I am in favor as well. And so those are set. Great. Okay. So continuing on to old business, microblading.
Thank you.
Yes.
So, one of the things that we looked at was as far as what
There you go.
Okay, sorry. So one of the things we were looking at in the past was what education licenses, certifications would someone need for microblading? And there were 3 areas that we wanted to look at to see how close they came to the same education for microblading. And I had picked out the 3 of them, which were body art practitioner, an esthetician, and a cosmetologist. And I broke down each of these, each of the courses and what they need to maintain licenses. And after looking at all of this, I think that one of the things, I think we should choose one. And the reason why I'm saying that is body art practitioner has everything in it that a microblade person would need to be able to perform microblading. And I've attached in the back of that, you're going to see 2 sheets. One would be, thank you. One would be the accredited training in Massachusetts. So the first sheet that you're looking at, accredited training, it's to ensure that they choose a course accredited with the AAM or the SPCP, which are microblading courses. There's also a 100-hour minimum that the state requires of training for microblading. Then there's the apprenticeship that's needed after you complete your initial course, which is 200 hours. And of course, you have your bloodborne pathogen training. I'm putting all of this out for you to look at and see if you come to the same agreement. And basically, the one that you see with accredited training is what they're doing in Massachusetts, in Boston. Does anyone have questions?
No, but I
So,
like that you said that they're in Boston.
Yes.
I like that.
so I appreciate you doing this, Susan. Why? I want to state my position and get what you guys think. Tell me I'm wrong, tell me I'm right, whichever you prefer. I don't think we should limit it to just the body art, because, right, to do microblading, you have to do the 100 hours of training, the apprenticeship, and the bloodborne pathogen separately. I think if you do that, you're good to do microblading as long as you have other experience in the field or an adjacent field. That's my position.
Right, but I'm gonna have you look over it, and I'm saying this only because I was ignorant when it came to what the Mass law was and what they were doing in Boston. I was looking at New Hampshire and other places, and after looking at Boston, it made me realize that there's a little bit more to the body art practitioner than there was with cosmetology or esthetician. Even though they embody so much of the same, there's just a few things that aren't the same. And I know I'm changing totally from what I had said prior, but
Change
that's
of
why I
opinion
want
is a
you
good
to.
thing.
Yeah, so that's why I wanted to get all of this out to all of you so that you can look at it and understand what each consists of as far as the training goes.
So if I'm understanding correctly, in order for them to do microblading, this would be what they would need.
That's
Exactly.
what's
This would be the
required.
requirement.
Of Massachusetts.
Correct.
My only concern, besides just the way I feel about that,
Yeah.
is that microblading to me seems like something that you'd see much more in a salon than you would in a tattoo parlor. And if we just limit it to tattoo artists or to body art artists, we're gonna severely limit people's and business intentions, which we can do if we think that's the right call. That's fine. I just think that there's, right, I think that the accreditation and the training that goes into the microblading certification is enough for me to be comfortable with someone doing that. If that makes sense.
So my question is, you're not saying to add it to the body art,
So our original recommendation, right, was to say you need the microblading accreditation and
Anyone.
any one of the others, right? You can
Gotcha.
pick. Susan, and correct me if I'm wrong, Susan, I don't want to be putting words in your mouth. You're suggesting that we say you need the microblading one and the body art one, and that's your only option. You will have to require
Right,
both.
which is totally opposite of what I said before.
Right, but that's fine. I just wanted to be clear.
Yes.
I tend to hold more in the initial camp, or maybe we broaden that from just body art to maybe also estheticians.
Well,
Because I think that more of those individuals are going to want to do this certification, and I trust the accreditation for what microblading would require, if that makes sense.
and I'll tell you my reason why changing it.
Do we have a reputable board-approved training program for microblading?
There is, that's the AAM, it's the American Academy of Micropigmentation.
So the AAM, so that would be that would be the course that they would need,
Yes,
no matter what,
no matter what. That's the minimum.
100 hours.
That's the minimum. That includes the 100 hours. That's the 100 hours.
okay,
that they
with
would
the
be getting.
bloodborne pathogen and then some
So,
type of licensure.
In the state, that's all that's required to do microblading. We're
With-
exploring making that a bit more constrict. And I think that's a good thing, at least in an initial period.
Yep.
I'm just worried that if we restrict it too much, we might not actually get.
No, they also have to have the apprenticeship.
Right, no, I'm saying like all of that, right, all of that, all of what's required for microblading plus other stuff. I think that the apprenticeship, the accreditation, the minimum hours, 100 hours of training is enough for me to say any one of these other things can get it.
You know, and that's what I truly believed. I did. And I'll tell you, the reason why I don't now is because I was a cosmetologist, so I know what schooling I went through. And I have had microblading. And I don't think I could do microblading. I don't think that cosmetologists have the education to actually do microblading.
Well, here's my question, here's my follow-up, not to like refute your point.
No, I'm glad. This is good.
It's good discussion. This
What
is
I
good.
need.
This is local government.
Yeah.
Sorry, I nerded out there. Did you do microblading while you were in cosmetology?
No.
See, 'cause
so
I-
long ago,
Well,
please.
not too long ago. You're still pretty young over there. My only concern is, right, if an individual's in cosmetology and they want to put in the work to get certified for microblading, I think they should be able to do that. Granted, right, we might see that only 2% of the cosmetologists in town, I'm making up numbers, but like, right, only a very small fraction goes for it. But I still think they should be able to, those individuals.
So Luke, if I can kind of feed off what you're saying,
Yeah.
so they have to have this, first and foremost, that's it. Without
Yeah.
that, don't even bother. And if they have any or all of these other, that's,
That was Susan's and mine's
Okay.
initial position.
Yeah.
And now it's
Susan
now it's
is
saying
suggesting
just
that we
body art.
narrow it further to just body art. I'm of the position that we should keep it broad to what we
yeah, I'm
originally.
gonna tend to agree with that because I'm thinking, this is just me. Body art, if I hear body art, it's tattoos, it's piercings, where cosmetology and esthetician is more of the other stuff. And I know what little I know of microblading, isn't that like
The
tattooing?
eyebrows.
Yeah, so, but it's, as someone who has tattoos, I think, and correct me if I'm wrong, that it's a different needle? Or is it different,
cut.
different
It's
process?
different
Yeah, it's a different
So
process.
it's a different process, so I think if you just say that, well, you have to have this, then that leaves out Susie Sunshine, who's going to school for cosmetology and then says, hey, I think I want to do microblading, but, so I mean, if we think about it that way, first and foremost, they have to have the AAMA.
Yes.
Yeah.
AAM training, they have to have that period.
Plus
end
the
of
100
story.
hours.
That's, yeah, that's 100, plus 100 hours. So that, I'm wholeheartedly, but I think we should kind of expand it a little bit so as not to leave out people.
And those 100 hours are specifically just for microblading.
Right, it's not
And we would-
100 hours in the shop.
Correct, and we would, is there a way to ensure that those 100 hours are just in microblading?
I believe it's
Oh, no,
through
it's the
the,
school.
The school that
It's-
does it.
Yeah, they,
Okay.
yes.
What we do now for body art practitioners, we have them provide us proof when they apply to be a practitioner. And that can be like a permit, several permits from different towns, their portfolios, or a letter or two from previous employers.
Okay.
Yeah, I do want to say, just because these are the requirements here, we can make we can gather different pieces of this and make this like what we want. I have been to a training before and I heard from, I believe it was someone in Boston saying that they believe a skin course or a college level anatomy and physiology is very important for someone going into microblading, just because obviously you're dealing with the face.
Yes.
Also, the state does not have their own set requirements. Every
Right.
city and town in Massachusetts comes up with their own, so that's kind of why we're
Yeah.
stuck in this, trying to figure out locally.
I believe the anatomy is part of the course at the AAM.
Okay.
I do like, I would want to, so personally, I would want to see what the anatomy course at the AAM looks like compared to a college level anatomy and physiology course. Because I do agree that a college level anatomy and physiology course or its equivalent would be beneficial and kind of pick and choose from that. It doesn't necessarily need to be body art, but they can do esthetician, cosmetic, or cosmetology or body art. And then ensuring that they have the accreditation, 100 hours, all of that, the apprenticeship, and then continuation with that portfolio. I do like all of that kind of incorporated together, and then just ensuring that they do have that college level anatomy and physiology. I think that is,
Madam Chair, did you say you want to see the course?
I would like to see what specifications they have on the AAM, if that's even a possibility.
Okay, are you,
Or I think maybe that's something that we could all, like, I don't know if everyone would like to see
individually
that.
explore.
Yeah,
yeah, so basically you're saying that no, you don't want to take a vote on that currently until after you see that?
I think, yeah, I think
I
there's so
think-
much to look at.
I think, I mean, this is a discussion, and I would like to get this done, like, sooner rather than later, because this has been going on for a
Correct.
while. I mean, if everyone feels confident and they want to take a vote, then we could totally do that. Or
Yeah.
if someone wants, if others want more information on like what the course provides, I personally, I would like to see what kind of anatomy and physiology course is provided, and if it is kind of equivalent to the college level, like does it compare?
Yeah, if it's, I don't think your I think your inclusion that a college level anatomy course is not a bad one. At least for because right, this is new to the town, so we want to make sure that it's done right.
Yes,
I think that's fair.
that it's safe and like,
I think if the AAM course is close or comparable, then I think
yeah,
that works for me.
absolutely. I agree too, if it, because it, yeah,
Not like
it's-
let's
yeah.
do that and then go with the other thing on top if it's close, right? If it's not close, we can discuss that then, you know?
Correct. And that's where I'm at. I want to ensure that it is similar or equivalent to a college level anatomy physiology course, or pretty close to that. I don't know if there's a way to see that.
Yeah, the breakdown?
Yeah.
You can just pull it up. You can pull it up. The AAM, there's many different academies, and you can pull the ones up in Massachusetts and get a breakdown.
So I think this is a general schedule, let's plan to get language,
Yes.
bylaw language written by next meeting for both for all three scenarios. One for, you need the microblading accreditation and training and body art only. One with the accreditation training and all the options, and one with the accreditation training, all the options, and a college-level anatomy course. Let's take the interim to individually go look at those courses to see if we're all happy with those, and then we can vote in we can vote on the position and then vote on the language that,
I would just like to tell the committee that I'm looking to vote in favor of what you've,
okay.
Yeah.
Something, we can make
no, I know,
adjustments
I
here
know
and
that, but
there,
I
yeah.
just want you to know, I don't want to overrule it, like just say, let's vote now, and we got
No,
three
I
votes.
don't-
or something.
I
I
don't-
don't want that, but I just want
Let's
people
vote with
to
the
know.
full information.
That's
is what
where
I-
I'm leaning.
I do agree. I would suggest that everyone do their due diligence and their due homework to look up what the college level anatomy and physiology course is, and compare it to a college level anatomy physiology course, and then also look into whether we want to have the body art, esthetician, cosmetology, just one, or,
Or like you said, you could pick and choose what you feel is most important.
yeah.
Because there's a lot here, and as much as I really want to get it going, there's just too much information that I think we really need to dive into some of these pages, and I do believe that Massachusetts, from what I've heard, is they have the strictest law for this. It's one of the strictest. So, and that's probably why I clung to that one, because I feel safer when I know it's the strictest. But, and I do believe that the AAM, the academies do fulfill all of the training that you're looking for. And hopefully that's correct, because that'll help make decisions faster.
I do want to add, currently we have one esthetician that does permanent makeup, but she has medical oversight. The medical oversight was something the board asked of her in the past. It's not in our regulations, and historically, when people call to inquire about microblading in town, we tell them the board would like to see medical oversight, just again, because it's the face and you're tattooing it. So that was just something the previous board required, just so you know.
I think where we are right now, if we all take the interim between now and next meeting, we can all vote on what we want the guidelines to be. And with the proposed language, we can then decide if the proposals we have for language match what we want exactly, or if there are tweaks we need to be made then. With the hope that we clear this up before the new year, if that makes sense.
Yeah, I would like that very much so.
And Shannon, do you believe that the guides, the recommendations, requirements and guides that you already have, that are already written for tattooing, there's a lot in there that we can basically use for this?
Yeah, I would agree. I know part of the hangup has always been the college level anatomy and physiology for a lot of tattoo artists, which is why the board has accepted a course called the Wallace course, and then the Quincy Skin course used to be offered by the Quincy Health Department, but that is no longer offered. But from my understanding, it was a good intensive course that was acceptable for most boards of health.
Maybe we can, if we decide
Yeah,
that that's
we can
necessary,
add
we
that
can
in.
make a list with determinations to the board and the health department to make some exceptions there
Yeah.
to help people get there.
If they don't have a
Certifications.
college level, then these would be the other ones.
These are acceptable alternatives. Okay.
Yeah.
Okay, just wanna.
Because I just looked it up real quick, and it looks like it's specifically focused on skin anatomy and micropigmentation. So it's more on the skin, not in-depth college level anatomy course.
Okay.
So there's that. So
So
can we, is there a motion to postpone and everyone do their due diligence, do their homework?
So moved.
I second that.
All right, it's been put forward and seconded. All in favor, say aye.
Aye.
Any opposed? Hear none. Chair also is in favor. So that moves forward. Okay. Next will be reports. Ms. Shannon.
Okay, we started food permit renewals. Food permits don't expire until December 31st, but we require them to be renewed 30 days before. So establishments have till December 1st to renew, and if they don't, they get a double fee. With the online permitting system that we have now, the renewals seem to be going smoothly and pretty simple. A lot of places have already applied, which is nice. Flu vaccine, Ashley still has some left, so if any residents are looking to get a flu shot, just contact the health department. We also do homebound shots. If you know of anyone that needs a shot that doesn't leave their home, Ashley can go and do that too. Siobhan has started a coat drive. We are accepting gently used or new coats to help those in need. All coats will be professionally cleaned by Anton's Cleaners before distribution. The donation of the coats will be given to the Salvation Army. We have a box downstairs outside the health department for people to come drop coats off. The mammogram van is coming to the senior center. This is Dana-Farber mammogram van. This is on November 7th from 8 a.m. to 4:15. Pre-registration is required. We have a flyer on our Facebook page with the phone number. So if anyone is looking to get a mammogram in Tewksbury, please look that up and give them a call to schedule. Halloween is this Sunday, October 20th from 1 to 4 on the town common, as well as the police department and fire departments. COVID tests, we still have COVID tests available for residents if they're looking for any down at the health department. That's all I have.
Awesome, thank you. Great. Any questions from the board members? Awesome. Subcommittee reports. Anything from Tewksbury Cares?
I was reviewing that binder and there's a lot of information that's in there that is like old.
Yes.
So I wouldn't even know where to start. I did see a name that I did recognize, so I may reach out to them. They're a former board member to see if maybe they can kind of give me ideas, but
Yep. And Susan Timmons is, she is still considered the treasurer.
okay.
So she would be a good person to reach out to as well. And I think, so when I was doing it last year, I was just putting it out there and trying to, and Maria Ruggiero is another one that's a good one for you. I tried to do a lot of meetings and both in person and virtual, and unfortunately, like I would have one or two people show up. And so it was, revamping with 1 to 2 people. We need more people. So anyone that is listening, hopefully, maybe, if you're interested in joining the Tewksbury Cares, please reach out to any of us or even the health department, because she'll get to, like Shannon will get to us, so that we can, this would be a really great initiative for the town to get things moving forward. Yeah, and if you need it, just reach out, let me know too.
Thank you. Because I was reading it, I was like,
Yeah, it's been
2002, 2006, I'm like,
after, so it was, I think after, from my understanding, it was during COVID, it kind of just diminished, and then restarting it just has been that kind of,
uphill struggle.
yeah, the motor isn't
Yep.
going.
If I may add,
Absolutely,
it sounds to me that you should just figure out everything and start from scratch.
yeah,
And if,
Pretty much.
if there's like a list of, this is the goals and this is what we want to be, just start from scratch
Yeah.
and you'll probably be so much more creative.
absolutely.
But I'll start with them and see where I can go from there.
And then there was the Wellness Committee meeting yesterday, which we kind of just went over. The wellness policy has been approved, so that has been something that's been going on for a while. And that has been approved by the school committee, and then working on community events, getting that in like a one calendar place where all the events in town that are happening with different committees and communities, we can kind of, the goal is to put everything in one place so that people know that that's the calendar that they can look for everything. It is a work in progress, so stay tuned for that. Any other subcommittees? Nope. Any questions from the members? Comments, concerns? Nope. All right. Next would be board member comments, concerns. Albert?
My only concern is the hearing we're pushing to next meeting.
Yes.
So I think maybe someone, I'm happy to do it, with Shannon, might want to discuss this further with some other of town hall's brilliant minds between now and then, just to see what is the best course of action.
I'd be more than happy to, but I'm sure she'll take care of it. I'm only just concerned about
The continuation.
town council, really.
Yeah, I think we
That's
should
the
bring
only
in
concern I
town
have.
council, and we should also, I think, at least getting town manager, assistant town manager
Yeah,
opinion.
they,
One or both, just,
I
you know,
agree.
they
thoughts.
picked a new one last night, so we're gonna have a
Yes.
new one soon.
Yeah.
Coming in, so.
Madam Chair, I had a couple things about
Absolutely.
future agenda items.
Go for it.
I received a letter from Congressman Moulton, so either if you choose to read it, or I will at next meeting. The other thing is I only have one or two concerns. I want to say that I think we've had great meetings from what I call a meeting standpoint of how they work. And I'm not pulling out no Robert's rules. I just wanted to talk about one or two rules that I'll just tell you one so you don't think it's like way out. Conflict of interest, because sometimes when you have a public hearing, a person I just wanted to speak on that for a minute, because there was never a way we did it in the last time I was on. So I'd like to speak on that.
Okay.
Thank you.
For a future,
Yeah,
okay.
thank you.
We can, if everyone is in agreement, we can add that to the next meeting.
And there may be something someone else wants to talk about in the meeting, yeah. I
Those
mean,
are
about how to,
Too quick.
Yeah, if you have any, I just ask if you have any, if you're pulling sources or like bylaws from somewhere, can you just drop that in the agenda so people can look at it beforehand?
oh, yeah.
So we're
definitely.
not just
Oh, definitely.
having to read a
No,
whole thing
definitely.
beforehand during the
Oh,
meeting?
definitely, I got it.
Yeah.
And that way, if people are interested at home, it's available that way too.
And I agree. I mean, the non-attendance definitely is something that we get to look at with that. All right. Any other comments, questions, concerns? All right.
It's getting colder, so everyone stay
Yeah,
warm.
I hear none. So if there's no further discussion, do we have a motion to adjourn?
So moved.
My second.
All right, everyone in an approval or a favor, say aye.
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 Anyone opposed? I hear none. It is 6:36. Have a great night, Tewksbury. Hope to see more people in attendance next month, hopefully. Have a great night.